The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. The apostles gathered together with Jesus and reported all they had done and taught. He said to them, "Come away by yourselves to a deserted place and rest a while." People were coming and going in great numbers, and they had no opportunity even to eat. So they went off in the boat by themselves to a deserted place. People saw them leaving, and many came to know about it. They hastened there on foot from all the towns and arrived at the place before them. When Jesus disembarked and saw the vast crowd, his heart was moved with pity for them, for they were like sheep without a shepherd, and he began to teach them many things. The Gospel of the Lord. Good morning. Welcome to those joining us on the live stream this morning. Jesus knows that his disciples need to rest from a long stint of missionary work. There's a need to replenish energies, physical, mental, and spiritual. And Jesus tells the apostles to get away together and to rest with him. That alternation between work and rest, built into human nature, is willed by God himself, as appears in the creation story in the book of Genesis. Rest is something sacred, because it's man's way of withdrawing from the sometimes excessively demanding cycle of earthly tasks in order to renew his awareness that everything is the work of God. And there's a risk that the vast power over creation which God gives to man can lead us to forget that God is the creator upon whom everything depends. And it's all the more urgent to recognize this dependence in our own time, when science and technology have so incredibly increased the power which man exercises through his work. Physical rest, of course, is not laziness or dissipation. There's a deeper meaning to rest, turning all our activity to glorify God and expressing our loving dependence on him. He commanded us to set apart one day a week to rest in him, to direct our hearts and minds to him, to offer him the fruits of our week's work, and to receive his grace to begin another week. Pope St. John Paul II wrote in his apostolic letter on keeping the Lord's Day holy, "Through Sunday rest, daily concerns and tasks can find their proper perspective. The material things about which we worry give way to spiritual values. In a moment of encounter and less pressured exchange, we see the true face of the people with whom we live. Even the beauties of nature, too often marred by the desire to exploit, which turns against man himself, can be rediscovered and enjoyed to the full. And as the day on which man is at peace with God, with himself, and with others, Sunday becomes a moment when people can look anew upon the wonders of nature, allowing themselves to be caught up in that marvelous and mysterious harmony. If after the work week people look for time to relax and to pay more attention to other aspects of their lives, this corresponds to an authentic need which is in full harmony with the vision of the gospel message. Our rest is not a time to lose spiritual connectedness of our soul with God, nor our readiness to do God's will at all times. We heard in Hebrews today, may the God of peace furnish you with all that is good, that you may do his will. Jesus teaches us that being ready to do God's will in everything also means being always ready to serve others. In a culture where vacation is synonymous with loafing, Jesus reminds us that for a Christian, relaxing and having fun are not incompatible with thinking about and serving others. His compassionate heart was always active, and even with rest on his mind, he was moved to give himself to the people who needed to hear the word of God. We need to take time to step back from our work and with a holy perspective, examine how we're balancing our earthly tasks with spiritual values. Spend that time with Christ. Don't be afraid to give your time to Christ. Open your time to him so that he may cast light upon it and give it direction. He's the one who knows the secret of time and the secret of eternity. And he gives us himself in the Holy Eucharist as an ever-new gift of love. Not only that we may live the demands of faith to the full, but also that we may respond concretely to the deepest human yearnings. Time given to Christ is never time lost, but it is rather time gained, so that our relationships, and indeed our whole life, may become more profoundly human.